The Turkey Valley Trojans coming off a loss to Don Bosco last week. Head coach Mark Scott joining us. And coach, obviously the start of the game wasn't what you wanted, but seemingly you guys played them pretty even Steven for 2.5 quarters. What were your takeaways from last Thursday night?
Yeah, we blew a couple assignments early that hurt us. Kids jumping things they shouldn't have jumped. But I mean, after they kind of figured out that they could play physically with them, yeah, we played. We kind of figured out what they were doing defensively, and we could, you know, move the ball a little bit on them and kind of shut down a little bit of what they were trying to do.
What was the moment that things clicked and your kids realized that, hey, you know what? If we do things the way we're supposed to, good things can happen.
I think when we scored that first touchdown, I think we'd gotten shut out the week before against Bishop Garrigan, and once we scored and we got a little momentum back, then I think that helped a lot.
So you got through the gauntlet part of your schedule those last 3 weeks against opponents that most people have lost to throughout the year. Edco, Bishop Garrigan, and Don Bosco. In the big picture, how do you feel your team has handled that?
I mean, overall spirits are pretty good. Overall, I mean, each one of those teams gave us a different dynamic. I mean, between speed and just overall size, and then Bosco being physical and um, shifty. So, I mean, it's we're not going to see much more combinations than what we've seen the last 3 weeks. I wouldn't think.
And offensively, one individual that had a very good night was J.D. Cruzy, 8 catches, 116 yards. He had the one touchdown. How has J.D. evolved both on the offensive and defensive side this year?
Well, he's been good for a while. He works hard. He's probably he gets after it. He does the things we ask him to do. He goes off a track. He's consistently in the weight room. You know, more so than probably anybody done what we've asked him to do. He wants to be good, and he is. I mean, actually, you said offensively, but defensively, he played really, really well. He made a lot of plays from the backside, and offensively, Logan throwing the ball, and Logan did a great job on timing and getting out. And a lot of that had to do with our guys up front. You know, they had two pretty good guys coming at him, and we did a pretty good job most of the night at keeping him off of him and giving him time to throw.
And this week, you got Tripola coming to town. What do you expect out of the Panthers?
They're big, they're huge up front. You got a decent back and a quarterback. Their quarterback's an athlete. He can run and throw again, but they've got some young kids playing, so they're probably better than their record shows that they are. I mean, they've they've gotten better over the course of the year. You can tell as you watch film.
And I know we live in a world where kids have a lot more information than they did 20 years ago. You mentioned they're better than what their record is. How do you go about selling that to your team this week, knowing the fact that all those little things you still got to do against an opponent with not as good of a record as the past three?
Well, tell them to do what we do, and don't overlook them, obviously, and and then we try to emphasize that if we can win this week, we should be in the playoffs, and then we're trying to get better for the teams that we're going to see in the future too, not just this week.
All right, Coach. Hopefully, you can get back on the winning track this week. Build off that positivity in the second half against Bosco. Keep your guys healthy. We wish best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Mark Scott, head coach of the Turkey Valley Trojans, and Trapola this Friday night.